Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Marius and the Mares. This episode is about the I can't do it mare. That heavy, persistent feeling that whispers you can't do it, you'll fail.
Welcome to Marius and the Mares, the show where we explore our fears. He appreciates all likes, comments, and shares. Now please welcome to the show, Marius.
Now, I've been fighting this thing constantly throughout my life in all kinds of ways. Most recently, it's been about my projects, all of the creative stuff that I have going on. I jump from project to project to project. And freestyle rapping is just one of many things that I've picked up where I just go like I can't do it. My brain isn't fast enough. I have too high standards given the fact that I've rapped in Norwegian for so many years and written lyrics. So doing it in a totally new language, being English, without the benefit of being able to write stuff down is just too much, and especially in my current life situation. But I'm not someone who just gives up. So I know for a fact I've taken a course on freestyle rapping and I've done a ton of it, a buttload of freestyle rapping. I know how it can be enjoyable and how it can be frustrating. So I kind of know the overall experience. And it's not that I can't do it, it's more about what's efficient use of my time, how do I get the most out of every day and do something good for the rest of the world. So I think there's a difference between I can't do it and I shouldn't. These two are often confused in my brain, knowing when to turn your back on something. The problem is, sometimes we turn our back on stuff before we've even started, and it can be something that hinders us in moving forward in life in general. So when it comes to this rapping thing, that doesn't really matter. But that same thought pattern has been present all throughout my life with all kinds of things. When I was a smoker with cigarettes, I thought I can't do it. I cannot quit. I'm gonna die from smoking cigarettes. And with many other things, I felt like I cannot do it. And if it wasn't for the fact that I was brave enough to try, I wouldn't have achieved the things that I've achieved. One thing is to quit smoking, right? But I had to go back to school and pick up math again, which is a subject that I flunked during high school, and I revisited a whole bunch of subjects, but that one single thing was just like, I can't do it. I'm not able to. It's not gonna work. I just cannot do it. But I did, and I just barely was able to pass on the most basic fucking math you could take in high school, and I felt like a superstar, essentially, just from getting that grade that just lets you pass, just barely lets you pass, and I felt like a superstar, basically. And later on in life, I chose to become a math teacher, and that time around the idea was different. It was okay, so if they all of a sudden require that all Norwegian teachers have to have so and so grade in math, I'm not gonna let them take me down with that. And that's why I became a math teacher. And I kind of feel like that was the wrong goal. One goal, of course, the most important one, was the fact that I knew how it felt to be extremely bad at mathematics. So I want to help the students who feel that way. They feel like it's hopeless, like it's this terrifying thing having to pass mathematics class. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to become a math teacher, because of them, because I can relate to them, and I think that is a great thing. But I also just wanted to essentially prove a point, and that is that I can do it, and I can do anything I set my mind to. Then again, just barely able to pass, but by god damn it, I got those freaking papers to show everyone. Not only can I do math, I'm allowed to teach it. So, but still, even though I overcome so many things in my life at this stage, I still get that fucker on my shoulder saying, you can't do it. And he's there all the time. He's saying it about all kinds of stuff, like making animated films. I can't do it. And I've proved him wrong. I've made animated films and found that I didn't really enjoy it all that much. I found it very stressful, very time-consuming, but also extremely cool, just given the fact that I was able to do it. That in and of itself was awesome, right? So the I can't do it Mare, I prove him wrong again and again and again. Same thing applies to this podcast. That fucker sat on my shoulder all the while until I got X amount of episodes created, and still after that he would sit there and say, you can't do it. Before I met my wife, I met her on a dating website, and at that point I had been single for 8 years almost. No girl was the least bit interested in me for all that time. And that nagging little fucker would sit there on my shoulder saying, you can't do it. No woman is gonna want to date you. And if they do, they're probably psychos or there's something wrong with them. And then I meet this beautiful, awesome, intelligent, funny woman on the internet who later becomes my wife, and we get a child together. If I would have listened to that asshole sitting on my shoulder, my daughter wouldn't be alive. If I would have listened to that asshole on my shoulder, I wouldn't have an education. I wouldn't have a job right now. I would still be a smoker. There's so many things that would have been wrong and off and not good about me and my life if I were to listen to that I can't do it Mare. But there's a difference between listening to that Mare and letting it put obstacles in your way that stop you, and knowing when to turn your back on something. And that's where I kind of at times struggle a little bit, because that I can't do it voice makes me a little bit aggressive. So maybe it can be a good thing in that way, that it makes me want to do things just to prove it wrong. But for some odd reason, no matter how many times I prove it wrong, it's still there. So let's broaden our perspective here, and just generally speaking, what do famous people in the world, scientists, philosophers, artists have to say about this? It's time to get our head out our ass.
Let's get our head out our ass.
Regarding scientific insight, the I can't do it is tied to your brain's amygdala, which is overreacting to a perceived threat. It wants to keep you in your comfort zone because it associates failure with danger. Now think about it. Throughout human history, the worst thing that could happen to you would be to be expelled from your flock, so to say, right? Embarrassing yourself so that people don't want to go hunting with you, or they look down on you, or you're not a good provider or whatever. So rather than putting yourself in a bad light, the safest thing is to just not try something before you know you can do it. Now, when talking about that, we have to mention the growth mindset. Carol Dweck's research shows that embracing challenges, even if you fail, rewires your brain to grow stronger. So when this Mare on your shoulder says, I can't do it, you're really just one step away from I'll try. And every time you overcome a challenge, your brain grows stronger. There's also something called the spotlight effect. Studies reveal we overestimate how much people notice or care about our failures. So this asshole on your shoulder makes you think the world is watching, when in reality everyone's too busy with their own mares on their own shoulders talking shit. So let's echo some famous voices. J.K. Rowling said, "It is impossible to live without failing at something unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default. She faced countless rejections before Harry Potter was published. Imagine if she'd let the I can't do it near win. Then we would have never had Harry Potter. Michael Jordan famously said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed." Jordan didn't just ride the mare. He turned it into a springboard for success. Over to the realm of philosophy, Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius, he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." So this fucker on your shoulder thrives on external validation and fear of judgment. Stoics teach that focusing on what you can control, your effort and perspective, is the way forward. And let's mention Nietzsche. That which does not kill us makes us stronger. The famous quote. Every time you challenge yourself, this mare, or what we will call it, demon or whatever, it loses power and makes you more resilient. You're training for a bigger ride in your life. The Buddhist perspective. Fear and doubt are illusions created by the ego. The mare isn't real, it's a shadow. Recognize it, don't fight it, and it will dissolve on its own. Let's think of a practical exercise we can do. Mare visualization trick. Let's picture the mare as a ridiculous, cartoonish version of itself, flimsy, exaggerated, or even wearing clown shoes. Imagine riding yourself, taming it, riding it, shrinking it down to a toy. Laugh at it. Self-doubt can't stand humor. I think one of the most healthy things we can do is to laugh at ourselves. I'm thinking, say this dipshit on my shoulder, which is me just being very scared and very over-controlling in life, not letting myself do things because I might fail. Let's say he had a voice. What would he tell me? I think he would say, you can't freestyle rap, because other people who have learned it, they have some magical skill that you don't have. They have some magical ability that you can't hack. It's impossible for you to do it because your brain isn't at the same level as them. Like, what fucking argument can you really come give me? Like, why? It makes zero sense. You can't do math because you're brain damaged. No, that's bullshit. Everyone can do math. Most of math is just acquiring skill sets, like learning your multiplication tables, learning how to count, learning. And everything you learn builds on something. Everything you've learned is applicable in math. So that's just bullshit. Some people are brain damaged and because of that struggle with mathematics, or they have learning disabilities that make them struggle. But most of us don't have that. And me included, I don't have that. I'm fortunate enough to have a very well-functioning brain. Not a Mensa member or anything like that, but totally functional brain. So yeah, that's just not true. What else? I can't do it. I can't quit drinking coffee because I enjoy it so much that I would die if I stopped. Or I would get so angry that I would hurt someone if I quit drinking coffee. That's bullshit. Right? It is utter fucking bullshit. It is not true at all. I'm not a violent person. I would never hurt anyone no matter what. That's just not me. And especially not because I don't drink coffee. So my wife has seen me angry a million bajillion times before, and she just gets angry with me now when I'm angry. She'll totally be able to handle it if I was angry because I quit drinking coffee. Not saying I'm gonna quit drinking coffee though, but the I can't do it is just wrong. Thanks for listening. If this podcast resonates with you, consider supporting me on Patreon. you'll unlock ad-free episodes and other exclusive content. The link is in the description. See you next time. Straight from the depths of despair. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Mare. And yes, he's back on my shoulder, on his job. He never takes a day off, and he is very intent on letting you hear what he has to share.
Let's take a second to hear what the Mare has to share.
Mary, you stop acting like you're brave and strong. Why should you quit smoking? Are you joking? You love standing here, just choke it. No one quits, they're crying and hiding away. Smoking cigarettes every single day. Like a junkie monty clawing at your back. Trembling fingers reaching for another pack. Inner demon jerking off, imagining so shaman. Spitting semen while your life's just like, fuck it, leave him. I am the one protecting you from your tears. Pouring down your face when you are a disgrace. Keep you safe in smoke and all your fears. This is home, Marius. This is your place. Shadows of your shame keep you feeling lame. Plain eye little gain, setting your soul aflame. You'll never hear those screaming with your bleeding ear. Failure feeding fear is all you'll ever hear. A floaty, always someone jokey should attack. Easy money, something stinks and it's not the monkey on your back. One more fix is all you need to stay alive in this cocoon of smoke where failures thrive. This is your protection, this is your disgrace. This is home, Marius, this is your place.